I know we're still getting people coming in. We're at 12 people right now, so I'm gonna just hang out a little bit, wait for some people to come in. I'll kind of keep the music up. Hopefully you're digging it. Actually, I'll let you just watch. You can just watch this very relaxing thing over here. I'll put myself up here in the sky. Let's turn that music up while I wait. I think when we get to like maybe 20 people, we can kind of get started. But I don't want people missing out. They're probably just getting notifications now. So let's see how sixth period does. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Ryan, Edmund, Julian, Kosei, Nick. Good to see you guys. Who else is out there? I know that I don't know if I can see like who's viewing. I only really know like if you're participating if you actually type something into the comment section. So, you know, even if you're not really like wanting to chat too much, just say hi. If you're out there listening, just type hi in the comment section so I know you're there. It's kind of nice to know who's watching. Do I have a TikTok? No, I don't. I don't, unless things get really desperate. I don't think I am gonna make one. I'll leave that to you guys. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Yuan? Jazzy, what's up, girl? This whole time I'm like, where's Jazzy been? I haven't heard from you in a while. I guess you were here last time. I think you were in the live stream last time, right, Jazzy? Hey, Edward. What it do, Jason? Flight crew. Hey, Michaela, how you doing? Hunter, how you doing, man? FTC, I don't know what that means. Flight team stand up? What's the C stand for? Oh, flight team crew? Oh, okay, Jazzy. I'm just used to, you sit in the front, Jazzy, so I'm used to just like, when we start class, like you're right there. But now that we're on this YouTube thing, I guess what I'm trying to say is I really, really miss you guys. Hey, Natalie. Oh, I feel so honored. You just woke up at 1:30. Way to keep that schedule. You're not the only ones, though. Fifth period, they're like, oh, I just woke up at noon. Man, maybe I need to make this earlier just to help you get along, get your day along. My AP class had theirs at 9:30, and a lot of them were still in bed. We actually did a Zoom, and like half the people were just in bed. Yeah, can't take your food. Jazzy, you can eat as much as you'd like in class today. Only because I know you can't be sharing it with other people. Jason's always trying to get at your food, Alright, we're at 16 people. If you guys are just getting here, feel free to say hi. Let me know that you're watching. Charlie, welcome. Good morning. Yeah, Julian, I think Zoom would be really cool. I think I'm gonna try to do one on Tuesday with you guys. Just like an whoever wants to. It's not mandatory, but like on Tuesday, maybe like at 12:30 or something. I'll just do a Zoom with like all my bio classes for whoever wants to jump in on that. I think it's just a little tricky because right now you guys are. I think a lot of people are getting on here because you're getting notifications from YouTube, right? Because you're subscribing. And for Zoom, I would send out an email on Canvas. I guess maybe answer this for me and just like type it in the comment section. If let me switch back over this. If I send out like a Canvas email, do you guys get that right away? Like, do you get a push notification if you get an email from me in Canvas? Just answer that for me in the comment section. Jazzy, you're going to Hawaii? When are you? I hope you're not going to Hawaii right like anytime soon. We're supposed to be staying in place. Okay. It should be if you're getting one, it should be pretty close to when I send it out. Sorry, I'm just trying to. I had a leftover pancake for my breakfast, so I just saw it sitting there so lonely, and I was like, what would 6th period would want to eat it? Alright, I'm gonna put that to the side. Hey Phil, glad you made it, man. No worries about being late. Kind of just waiting for people to trickle in. See if we can get one more person in here. We're missing a lot of our people. Let's see, Nathan, Nathaniel, Karosh. Who else is out there? I'm trying to imagine. I don't know. Is it bad that I remember their names first? Maybe not. Where's Adam? Adam, are you watching? Where's Mr. Adam? I don't know if I been hearing much from him. All right, let's see. Oh, I got an idea. Just because I don't really have a PowerPoint for you guys, let's do this. If I make it big, we can. That's kind of fun. Okay, what's Discord? A lot of people have been talking about that. Is that like Zoom, or is that a gaming thing? Hey, Rami, what's up, man? Yeah, there's a chat. You can say whatever you want in here. Ask all your questions. Definitely a chat here. I'm gonna assume Discord's a gaming thing. Okay, we hit 20 people, so let's get started. You can ask more than 3 questions. Yeah, it's a gaming thing. Okay, thanks, Phil. Okay, here's your first question. I'd like you guys to answer. Oh, I see. Okay, it's like social media stuff. Okay, here's your question I'd like you to answer. Just type it all in one line. What has been, this is like a warm-up discussion for today, what has been the best thing about being on school closure and shelter in place, and what has been the hardest thing about being in closed school and shelter in place? Go ahead and type that in the comment section right now. Best and worst thing about all of this. Go ahead and type it in. I'm gonna turn the music up while I wait for you guys to type, but there's 19 of you guys watching. Everyone jump in here and tell me what's the best and worst thing about this closure. Watch Mr. Raccoon. just here, if you're just joining us, everyone's just kind of typing in what's been the hardest thing and the best thing about being on school closure and shelter in place. So I've been reading through all of these. A lot of people talking about schedules and kind of the best thing being like your schedule. And the hardest thing I'm seeing kind of a mix of motivation and work stuff and the no socialization piece. I think I have to agree with you guys. It's been pretty cool to. I don't think I've been like sleeping in that much. Like I think my alarm's still set for 8:30. Actually, I set it for 8 and I snooze till 8:30. And I usually am like getting to bed by midnight. So I don't know if you guys think of that. You probably think that's super early, but you know, compared to a normal work schedule, it's been kind of nice. Was that the name of the song? Yeah, so the scheduling has been pretty cool to kind of just float around and do things as you need. The social interaction part is definitely hard, and we've been getting creative about how to keep up with that social interaction. Comment in the section, the comment in the comment section. How many of you say yes if you have been FaceTiming with somebody or family members or multiple people at least once a day? If you've been FaceTiming with people once a day, type yes in the comment section. It could be FaceTime, Zoom, Google Hangouts, as long as you're getting some kind of like video time with somebody. Say yes if you've been doing that. Yeses. Okay, good. If you're not, Rami, Jazzy, you're FaceTime with Edward, that's good. Yeah, if you guys aren't doing that, you know, I think that is probably one of the like more important things that you can be doing. And you know, if you're doing it or you're not doing quite enough, you know, you don't always have to be like talking the whole time. What we've been doing, my wife and I, a lot of times we'll be like FaceTiming with family or with friends, and we'll just kind of like do something at the same time. So like we'll like make a dinner date or a lunch date, and actually this is part of like the scheduling thing too. Is like even though it's nice to have a flexible schedule, one of the things that one of my AP students said this morning was that they try to like make a schedule for themselves, but it's really hard to keep a schedule when you're at home and there's like no reason or incentive to like follow that, right? And so you know, like making plans to FaceTime with somebody like at a certain time to do a certain task, that can kind of like light the fire under your butt to get it together a little bit so that you have some structure to your day and have something to look forward to, you know. Like my schedule for today, like I write on this notepad. I've got like live streams at 9:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30. I have a meeting with our teachers union at 3:30, at 4:30 to 5. I've got a FaceTime with some friends in Santa Cruz, and just having like those times to like have that structure and know that someone's like waiting for me, that can really help. One, not only give me like a lot of social time, but also feel like there's a little more accountability. So whether you want to like get together and eat together at the same time, or you want to like jump on Discord and play a game at the same time, we've actually like, you know, there's like 2 other couples we're really good friends with. The other night we like all got on Zoom together, and the girls just watched a movie together on Netflix, and the guys like we played poker with like fake money on our phones, like a little app that we downloaded. You know, and it's not exactly the same, but it still feels like you're hanging out and socializing with people. So you can definitely be really creative. You know, it doesn't just have to be like you're sitting in your bed just like FaceTiming the whole time. You can be doing stuff with other people. You could even be FaceTiming as you go for a walk. Hopefully you guys are getting out a little bit. What song you be listening to? This is I've been using like Chill Hop a lot. I'll show you guys the This channel is chill hop music. Big fan of it, but they have like tons of like 1 hour playlists, and they just cycle through all of them. If you're wanting to look up a specific song, they list it all here for you. Usually when I do these oh shoot, I realized the music's way too high. Let me turn that down a little bit. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Charlie. Sorry, I turned that up when you guys were answering the question, and then I totally forgot. Yeah, so usually when I make these screencasts or live streams, I just like find a random chill hop station. You can see that they got tons of stuff to pick from, and then I'll like run that in the background. But big fan of it. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So let me put this back up because I'm really vibing it. Oh, dude, you guys like that squirrel, the raccoon? Let's do this one. He's just like walking this whole time. This one's really chill. Let me move. I like this one a lot. And it actually shows you the name of the song too. Oh yeah. This is actually, I think this is one of their live streams. Yeah, this one's live. Okay, cool. So I hope that helps a little bit with just like some tips in terms of socializing, and even like having a little bit more structure to your day. Some of you guys really like that. Let's see. A couple things I wanted to talk about for today's live stream. We kind of did like our warm-up discussion already. If you haven't already heard or haven't been reading emails from the school, I think it was yesterday morning, the district or Ms. Dzinski should have sent out like an official email about when we're going to come back to school. So if you remember when we first announced all this, they said we were going to come back after spring break. Well, now with the way things are going with coronavirus, the official return date has been pushed back to May 4th, which means that we are going to be doing this for the next month at least. And of course, they're going to be reevaluating along the way, and depending on how bad things are or how good things are, it may get pushed back even further. So that doesn't really come as a surprise to me, honestly, because if you're looking at other countries, it takes a while for this thing to do what it needs to do. So officially, we're going to be going to May 4th, which means after spring break, we're still going to be online, and you guys will be on here with my sub. I am gonna record like a screencast, or maybe like on Tuesdays Zoom. I may have her sit in on it, and she can introduce herself, and you guys can kind of see her face and ask her some questions. Her name's Miss Reyes. She's a credentialed science teacher. We've been kind of talking every other day about how to get everything ready for you guys. So she's gonna do a great job. I'm not too worried because you guys are gonna be in good hands. Are there any questions anybody has about the closure, shelter in place, stuff for our class, the sub? Any questions? Yeah, I think she is going to do live streams. I was kind of coaching her a little bit, just showing her the software that I use to make. Does she even know how to use a computer? Yes, she's. I think she's only like 20. I think she's like 24 or something like that. So yeah, she might be closer in age. Well, she's definitely closer in age to you guys than I am. So she knows how to use a computer. But yeah, I was walking her through some of the software that I use to do live streams and screencasts, and I think she's going to be doing a bit of that. So are we like not supposed to go out at all? With the shelter in place, it doesn't mean that you have to stay at home 24 hours a day. You really should only go out for, I would say, two things. One is for essential business. So if you're going to the doctor, grocery store, you need to pick up medicine or whatever, that's allowed. The other reason I would say that you're allowed to go out is and you have to stay in your neighborhood, but it's just to go out for exercise or to get some fresh air. So if you guys haven't been doing it, I highly recommend that you do what Mr. Raccoon here is doing and just go out for a walk. get some exercise. You can go for a run, you can bike, you can even hike, but they are asking that you maintain social distance while you do that. Tennis, I think officially they're not saying that. I think sports, just because you're gonna be like playing with people in somewhat close contact, they're saying no to that. A lot of tennis courts they've been locking up, so you kind of have to use good judgment with that. As long as you're keeping distance. The thing is, you're playing tennis, you're also like touching the ball, and then your partner's gonna touch the ball, and that kind of defeats some of the purpose of that. So use good judgment with that. I would say of all the things, tennis is maybe better, for sure better than like playing basketball or something else. But from what I've heard, a lot of the tennis courts have been getting locked up. So I think I know you're pretty far apart, and that's why I would say like that's not the worst thing. Just make sure you're washing your hands and keeping your distance. I would say as long as the courts are open and you're doing that. He has a court at his house? Okay, I mean, if it's your own tennis court, for sure. I don't see why not. I know. Yeah, you could wear gloves. Actually, it's funny. My dad snuck out of the house to play ping pong with his friend, and they were like, he said they were 13 feet apart, but they did wear gloves when they're handling the ping pong balls, which is kind of funny. But yeah, you definitely want to be able to get exercise still, guys. You don't want to be sitting at home all day, just sitting around eating and lounging. It's not very good for you. Yeah, if you're playing with your siblings and I think like from a law perspective, they actually have been giving tickets out to people. Like we know some friends in the city, they don't live together, and so they met up and went for a run, and they weren't 6 feet apart, and they each got a $400 ticket. So it's kind of crazy. Not crazy, but they are enforcing that. But if you're in the same household and you guys live together, I think they're a little bit more loose on that. Like when I go out for a walk with my wife, we're not 6 feet apart. We just keep 6 feet from other people. Yeah. All right. Any other questions about closures and coronavirus and subs and all that stuff? Okay. Well, if there's no questions, and the next thing on my list is just to talk a little bit about bio stuff. I guess before I ask you how, I'll just kind of troubleshoot some things that have kind of come up. So this week we started a new unit, and on Tuesday, I think. Yeah, because you guys took the quiz on Monday, and on Tuesday you guys had a new assignment sheet, and then you've had 2 lessons so far that you had to watch and like fill out a worksheet. A lot of people have been asking about whether like they've been having problems with the worksheet because it's a Word document, and when you download it and try to print it out, like everything it looks all messed up. So if that's you, I've actually during last period screencast, I went on and converted everything to PDF and reposted those. So the assignment sheet and the worksheets for this week, they're all in PDF form now, so you can go and print those out without issues. And again, if you don't have a printer, you can always just do your best to draw it into your notebook. Okay. Are there any questions that anybody has about the lessons, about the intro to ecology or the energy stuff that I can help you with in this time? But just keep an eye on things. It's 2 o'clock, and I have 7th period coming in about 30 minutes. So we don't have unlimited time. There's 22 of you. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask. Yeah, Ryan, you could always transfer it to Google Docs. Sometimes the formatting gets a little bit funky. So hopefully by converting it to PDF, it's a lot better. So you can check that out on Canvas. All the links are updated. You just have to refresh the page if you already have it open right now. Any questions about ecology? if you want to open up your notebooks and kind of scan through, if there's anything that you have any issues with, let me know. Nothing? Pretty quiet. Just like a real class. Well, if there's no questions, and if you think of something, just like, you know, type it in as I'm talking here. The thing about this unit is it actually is pretty straightforward. Like the ideas aren't super complicated, but I want to give you like a little preview of of what's to come and what I need you to understand before we head out for spring break. So what I'm trying to do in the next 2 weeks is to give you like a basic understanding of how like the Earth and its living systems like naturally work. And what I mean by naturally, I mean like before humans came along, what did like all the organisms on Earth have to go through to find like a certain balance? And the reason why that's really important is because after spring break, we're going to be going into a human impact unit where we look at the history of humanity and our population growth and our consumption and climate change. And to really understand the issues and to understand the solutions for that, we have to understand like how the Earth naturally and normally works without humans in the picture. And so whether it's looking at biomes or it's looking at you know, energy transfer, or on Friday we're going to look at how nutrients are recycled, what you want to understand is like as a baseline, how do things on Earth as a system work. And then once we get to the stuff after spring break, Miss Reyes is going to walk you through like how we've actually changed the way that those systems have functioned, and that's what's leading to a lot of the problems that we have today. We got a question from Ryan. The question about the organism's biomass decreasing, is it going by 10% or 90% at each trophic level? That's a really good question. Let me get a picture here so we can look at that. Let me switch back. There we go. Okay, so here is an example of a pyramid. And whether it's a biomass pyramid or an energy pyramid or a population pyramid, the theme is always the same, right? At the bottom of the pyramid, you have the biggest group, and as you work your way up, it's getting smaller and smaller. So to answer your question, the answer is it's going up by 10% each time. Okay, in other words, like this pyramid here is not actually proportional. A real pyramid. I'm looking for the one that we use. This is the one that is a bit better. Yeah, let me pull this one up in another tab so you can see this. So when you look at this picture here, this is like really what the pyramid's looking like. Okay, the reason it's going up by 10% is because 90% of the energy is going to be lost before it has a chance to go up to the next level. And if you don't understand why that is, it's because whenever we eat something, only a very, very small part of that, yeah, there are emojis here. Oh, is that a dab? Oh my God. When we eat something, only a very small proportion of that energy gets stored into our body. Okay, so I'll give you an example, like with a cat and a mouse, and the mouse and what do mice eat? Cheese? I don't know. Let's just go with cheese. So let's say the mouse eats 100 joules of cheese, right? It doesn't mean that the mouse is going to take all that energy, that 100 joules, and store it as muscle or fats or sugars. When the mouse eats that cheese, most of the energy from that food is going to be used right away by the mouse to stay alive, right? It's going to be broken down, we're going to make ATP, and as the energy is used by the mouse, it's going to create body heat, which then leaves its body and the energy is lost. And so on average, only about 10% of the energy that the mouse eats actually becomes part of the mouse's body. And why is that important? Because when a cat comes along and eats that mouse, the cat only has access to that little 10%, right? Because the other 90%, the mouse has already used it. Even if the cat eats the whole mouse, it's not going to be able to get the energy that's already used or the energy lost as heat. So that's why we have that 10% rule. And so when you look at a food chain like this, right, where in this case the snail's eating the flower, the frog's eating the snail, and the fox is eating the frog, which is a strange food chain here. you can see that only 10% of the energy is being passed on to each level because 90% is being used and lost as heat. So that's why the answer is 10% that's passed on, but 90% is being lost. Does that make sense, Ryan? All right, now you guys are getting distracted by the emojis here. Okay, any other questions? Okay, well, if you don't have any questions for me, I want to ask you guys a question, and I'd like you to respond down below. So I'm kind of talking to the sub right now about like how to set things up for after spring break, and I wanted to get some feedback from you guys about like what's working and what's not working. So just thinking about like how we've set up the class so far with Canvas and the schedule and the workload even. I've heard some people complaining about how like some teachers are giving a really inconsistent workload. Like on some days it's 10 minutes of work and another day it's like 2 hours. So just as feedback from you guys, can everybody that's watching here just comment really quick, what's going well with this class for you and what can we improve on for the future, so I can let the sub know, you know, just in terms of like communicating to you and you know, keeping the workload manageable where you're like learning, but it's also not you know, taking too much time. So comment down below about your thoughts about the class so far. Cool, we got some feedback coming in. Yeah, that's super helpful, guys. I appreciate the feedback. A lot of you guys it seems to be working out pretty well for you guys, so that's good. Workload seems just right. Not too time consuming, but they're still given time to learn. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was the reason I asked is because I was talking to the sub yesterday, and I was just, you know, like talking about how to set up the format. So when you guys get back from spring break, she's going to be making a page that looks pretty similar to what I have. And so what I've kind of suggested to her is just to kind of like do 3 weeks at a time. So that way everyone can kind of look ahead and see, you know, what's coming up. So I think I'll have her do the same thing. Workload wise, how much is it taking you guys, like for on an average day, like where I do assign a lesson and a worksheet or an activity, how many minutes is it taking you guys to finish an activity on average? Go ahead and comment below. Let's hear from everybody. How long is it taking to finish an assignment? Yeah, cool. Yeah, so yeah, the length of my video plus like some extra time to kind of finish that up. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm kind of aiming for about 30 minutes. I think, sometimes it's going to be a little bit more, maybe up to 40 minutes, especially if the video goes a little long. But yeah, the quiz, Julian, the quiz did take a little while. Originally I wanted to keep it kind of short, but I just, I was kind of thinking through like everything we had talked about over the past couple weeks, and I wanted to get feedback from you guys about like, those key things. So that did take a little while, but considering that, for 3 weeks we didn't have any quizzes or tests, and you're just doing one of those every, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think it's an okay trade-off. But and I think the fact that it was a short answer one too took a little bit more time. But with evolution, it's one of those things where like, you can't, as a teacher, I can't really tell how much you know, just by looking at your multiple choice answers. So if I ask you to write it out, it gives me a better idea of like how well you understand it. And it's always good to get some practice like writing and explaining things. All right, Hunter. Yeah, depending on how long the videos are. Yeah, I'm trying to keep the videos not too long. I know some people were complaining that it's like I said it wasn't going to be long, and it's still 30 minutes. But actually, 30 minutes is pretty standard. If you consider that, normally we're doing like a 50-minute lecture in class. Some of my AP ones they're like upward in the 40, 50-minute length. So, yeah, the videos, they can be a little long, but I try to be thorough with them so that you're not left like wondering what the heck happened. Cool. All right, well, that's kind of like all I have for you guys today. Like I said, I've got another call or a live stream for 7th period, and Michelle, you are a little early, but you're welcome to stick around. I guess the last 10 minutes or so, I'm gonna open it up for Ask Me Anything. Is there anything that you would like to know? You can ask me, about anything. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in below. Yeah, Julian, we can do a song request as long as the lyrics are not explicit. What song do you want? Just type it in. Okay, Yuan. Yeah, thanks for that feedback. It's a good length. In the meantime, any other questions? Is that a salad? Ask me anything. Any questions? I don't know, Julian, if you're looking it up or not. I can keep it in mind for next time too. Little no words. I don't know, man. Yeah, I would say it needs to be clean. I mean, this live stream does get saved and then posted, and then it's on there forever. So, gotta keep it PG. Don't want to lose my job over this. Jazzy, thanks for asking. My wife's doing good. Technically, we're 9 days away from our delivery date. Doesn't mean the baby's gonna come right then, but it could come before. But she's doing good. We're going for walks and staying healthy and trying to not get sick. Yeah, we're getting close. It's pretty exciting. She's starting to get these little. They're like called false contractions. They're also called Braxton Hicks, and it's like because if you didn't know, the uterus is a muscle, right? So when the baby's being delivered, it contracts, and that's what squeezes the baby out. And so these little false contractions, these Braxton Hicks, are like the uterus kind of warming up to get ready to give birth. So she's starting to get a little bit of those, and that's probably going to increase as we get closer and closer to the due date. So, but yeah, overall she's doing really good. She's been baking a lot, making cookies for friends and things. So thanks for asking. Yuan, how's quarantine life? Pretty good. I think I've been staying really busy, you know, with a lot of stuff with work, and also some like volunteer projects that I'm helping to run. But I'm trying to transition, like, to do a little bit less work, because I do have a pretty big list of items I need to get done before the baby comes. Like, we have to pack for the hospital, because we're gonna spend anywhere between like 3 to 4 days in a hospital. So I gotta make sure we have all the stuff ready for that. And actually, I'm gonna load that suitcase in the car, so the minute that it starts coming, we'll just jump in the car and head to the hospital. Try armed and dangerous clean version. Okay, I'm trusting you here. Oh gosh, I'm already nervous.
I'm in town, yeah, party's going down. You dig? Shoot 'em down with a 50 round. You dig? Run the town. How you at about? You dig? So much money, damn it, I forgot to count. You dig? Look at my bank account.
All right, we've got more questions here. 3 nights, Sunday best. Are we going to drug her? They want to know if you're gonna go on drugs or go natural. Yeah, I don't think you don't need to worry about that. I mean, we're gonna have a healthy baby. Yeah. That's more of it's a little private. It's all good though. Thanks for asking. All right, well, let's switch over to this then. I don't know what this is. All right, any other questions? AMA, we got about 5-6 minutes left. Anybody have any questions? Rami, yeah, we've got 2 names in mind. I'm not going to share them right now because we're going to decide when we see the baby. But, yeah, we've got it narrowed down to 2 nights. Not 2 nights. I read your comment, 3 nights. 2 names. Yeah, we'll kind of decide then. Wait, 3 nights, is that the one with the street lights in the city song? I think I know that one. Yeah, Dominic Fike. Yeah, that's the one. That's a good one. I dig it. Let's do that. 3 nights in the hotel, in the city. Oh yeah. Dude, I forgot about the song. This is a good one. Listened to this a lot last year.
3 nights at the motel, under street lights in the city. Call me what you want when you want if you want, and you can call me names if you call me up. 3 nights at the motel, under street lights in the city.
You know the first and last letter. No, it actually gives. I think it gives away a lot. I know, Rami, that gives away a lot. I will tell you this though. You have middle names.
If you wanna stay up tonight, Stay up at
that's
night.
my
Green
dad's
lights
name, so
in your body
pass on my dad.
language.
My dad's
Seems
legacy. We told
like
him the
you
other
could use a
day, and he
little
was really happy.
company from me.
Yeah, Abby, totally. Ask about questions. Go for it.
Everything and figured out like you say. Don't waste a minute, don't wait, admit it. It's only a matter of time for you to tell me now. 'Cause I've been up for 3 nights at the motel under street lights in the city of palms.
Yeah, Abby, go ahead and ask your question. Yeah, I know. I just turned it down. Oh, sorry. I was saying the middle name is going to be Taylor after my dad. Yeah, sorry about that. I have to like come back to the mixer and change the volume. Good question. So the reason why, Abby, that their food chains are made up of 4 or 5 levels at most, it actually comes back to, let me find this picture here. It comes back to the energy pyramid here. So because only 10% of the energy is moving on, the way you have to think about this, I think I have another picture here. Let's use this one just in terms of population size. Here's how you have to think about this. To keep one osprey alive, you have to have 10 northern pikes, okay, which are like a predatory fish. To keep those 10 alive, you have to have 100 perch. To keep those alive, you need 1,000 bleaks. And then to keep those alive, you need 10,000 freshwater shrimp. So the way you can think about this is that to keep one osprey alive, you have to have 10,000 freshwater shrimp, which is a lot, right? So imagine then if you had this lake where all these things are living and you had like maybe 1,000 ospreys, how many shrimp you would need in the water to be able to support all of that. And then to feed those shrimp, you would have to have a lot of producers, a lot of algae and phytoplankton to support the shrimp, because they're actually consumers, right? They're primary consumers. So the reason why there's only 4 or 5 levels is because it takes so much energy and so much biomass below to support the top predators. And so if we were to hypothetically add another predator on top of the osprey, right? Let's say that, I don't know, I don't even know what would kill an osprey because they're kind of a top predator. But if you were to add some kind of predator that ate the osprey, then for that one predator to survive, it might have to eat like one osprey every day, which means that you would need a lot more shrimp and perch and everything below it. So what I'm trying to get at here is, with interdependency, like we talked about in the video, the number of individuals or the amount of energy or biomass available at the bottom of the pyramid is going to determine how many levels can be supported and also the population size of these top predators. And that's why, Abby, if you think about like a rainforest versus a desert, right, you're going to see a lot more predators surviving in the rainforest than compared to like in a desert, because in a desert you have so little water that the producer population is pretty small, right? There aren't very many plants, which means there are going to be fewer primary consumers. That means fewer secondary consumers, and you're not going to have as many levels or as big of a population up top. Whereas in the rainforest, because of where it's located, you have tons of sunlight, you have tons of water. The producers are going to be really, really effective, and they're going to create a big foundation to put all the other layers above that. Does that help? Okay, people are, yeah. So Ryan, that's basically it. Yeah, there is not enough biomass at the high level. Well, it's not that that's the reason why there's 4 or 5 levels is that there isn't enough biomass. It's just that it requires so much biomass at the bottom to support those higher levels. Okay, we got all kinds of suggestions for names. Yeah, sure thing, Abby. Okay, it's 2:25, so I need to wrap this up. Does anybody have any last-minute questions? If you have song suggestions, maybe suggest them at the beginning of next time's live stream. Just to give you guys an idea of what I'm thinking about on Tuesday. I know we don't really do live streams on on Tuesdays, but I would love to see you guys and hear from you and do a little face-to-face time. So I may have like one big Zoom meeting on Tuesday. So make sure your notifications for Canvas are on, because I'll probably just send out an email with the Zoom link like a little bit before we jump on there. It'll probably be a little earlier than this. I'm thinking maybe 12:30 or something on Tuesday. We'll do a Zoom, and then we can all like see each other and talk to each other. Till then, though, take care of yourselves. Be safe. Again, you can go outside, but maintain social distancing. Make sure you're washing your hands, and make sure you're seeing people. Get on FaceTime, get on Google Hangouts or Zoom, and socialize a little bit. It's actually really, really good for you to stay mentally healthy through that time. Okay. Julian, no, I'm gonna actually switch back. I'm really digging the raccoon thing. So for 7th period, I'm gonna go back, unless they ask. Are we gonna be on spring break? Yeah, spring break's coming. It's not this week. It's not next week, but it's the week after that. So we've got a little bit more work to do before spring break comes. But spring break is gonna be interesting because we're still not really gonna be able to go out. And on top of that, you're not gonna have any work to do. Because we're not supposed to be assigning stuff. So maybe start planning like how you want to use your time. Think of a hobby that you can do at home or something. But definitely still want to be. We're gonna definitely be on shelter in place for that. Okay. Hey, I got to roll, guys. So hope you have a good one. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for all the questions. And yeah, have a great weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday. All right. See you guys.
I know we all having bad days. I've had more than just a few. The ones that treated me wrong, now they're singing my songs, and I'm like, damn, how's it feel to be you? We all want someone to love us. I've had to put love aside, 'cause in my dreams, my dream is all I'm seeing. Might be a dream, but it's mine. It feels like we will be forever young, but we grow up so fast. We're just holding on to the pieces of broken dreams that didn't come, but we keep on holding on. Yeah, we keep